Hello all out there, I'm getting set up for periscoping this blab. And I'm periscoping the blab so that people can see how this new feature works. That's about as good of an angle as I can get. Hello! Hey Bruce! So I'm periscoping this blab so that, come on in.
Hi there.
Hi.
How you doing?
Going good. I'm going to co-host you.
I watched the last Periscope. That's going to keep this.
Yeah. So I'm going to record this but the drop-ins don't record.
Right.
And the blab episode. And also and I'm also saying this. So there's some of the things I'm saying for the Periscope as well. And so I'm going to start recording now.
Okay.
Thanks for dropping in.
Welcome.
And I
was looking at your feed and back to me, so I figured, hope I'm not too late. It came like, what, half an hour ago?
Oh, that's fine. It's one of those things. It's been a hectic day. So what I'm doing is, after that Amelia's Wish event that happened last week, 10 days ago, about the young girl with cancer, which was in the Today Show, or Today Show's website today. Anyway, that whole thing got me to, what did I want to do with blab? You know, I'd been thinking for a few weeks what I want to do with it. I have to look and see, 40-some days, 46 blab days old. So I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it, but I've been a fan of social good since 2011 when my wife and I went to the Mashable United Nations Social Good Summit. And I thought, you know what? I went out and looked, and there wasn't a whole lot of social good type ongoing ones. There's been some blabathons, there were some different things. So I decided that I wanted to start a blab for social good and also a parallel Periscope for social good. So P4SG and B4SG. And then...
Did you drop in on Joel and our show? Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Who's that now?
You dropped in on our show like 2 weeks ago, or was it last week?
I don't... Which show was it?
Lab Talk Live.
Okay. Yeah, it might have been a week ago. I know did I talk about Amelia's Wish at that? If so, it would have been a week and a half ago, because it was Saturday, February 27th was when her wish was.
Okay, so the 29th show.
Okay, so yeah, and so anyway, that led up to this, and so you see the title there. What my format's going to be is blab for social good, you know, and then dash whatever that topic happens to be. So in this case, it's, you know, you caring pet campaigns, and in all fair disclosure, everybody on Periscope, blab, the whole bit, I've not yet tested a you caring drop-in, so we're going to find out if it works or not. I'm going to just switch my headphones here. So, that way. All right. How am I coming across for... No, none at all. Hello, Maitar. How am I coming across? All right. So, Maitar's from Israel. I'll make sure I get this right. And I'm going to let Maitar in, but I want to let you know what we're doing here, Maitar. Hey, Maitar, we're getting ready to start a blab for social good, testing the new blab drop-ins feature, and it's the you caring pet campaigns. I wanted to, since there wasn't any, oh hey Cliff, how you doing? I wanted you to come in and say hello, but then I'm going to ask you to leave the seat for a moment, because I'm going to start off with a little bit of intro, setting the stage for what we're doing. But, well, you don't have to go that quick. But thank you, Maitar. I met Maitar during Charlene Long's Blabathon. So, am I hearing like a frog or something? No? You guys hearing anything like that? All right. Are you hearing me at all? Come on in, Cliff. Okay. I'd never heard that before. Okay. 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 I'm just going to... Okay. Okay. Yeah, that happens with this new drop-in. Hello, Kate. How you doing? I met Kate in a blab the other night. So,
Hey,
one sec. Yes.
I looked and it looks like we had 3 boys and a girl and an unknown.
3 boys, a girl, and an unknown. Okay, great. We had 5 kittens yesterday, so I just found out what they were. So, all right. So, did Bruce leave us? Okay, I got it. That's fine. So anyway, I made you co-host, and I appreciate you dropping in, Cliff. And certainly, I know you've probably been on Blab most of the day already, so don't feel obligated to stick around. But I wanted you to see the beginning of it here. Yeah. So all I know is I joined it near the end. Well, it was so wild. I might have been like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning Central Time. I went to see what was going on, and I just happened to see that one was going on, and I'm so glad I dropped into it. And what happened, and right now I am live streaming via Periscope this as well, because that way it'll capture, like I'm going to do this right now for those watching on Periscope, and I won't be able to respond to comments on Periscope, but when I lock and unlock the seat, you get this green bar right here. I'll lock and unlock again, and that's where you can drop a link in. I'm going to lock it back up so we don't get any calls right now. But so I was watching it. No, but that's why I'm putting it out on Periscope Live. Yeah, and then I can also, this video will be available on Catch. And so this was my way. I'm an educator at heart. I'm a long-time educator. And so I was like, all right, what's the best way that I can show everybody else out there how this feature works if they can't see it, and it's not going to show up on the recording? So I'm doing a recording of something that's not recorded. So I was watching that show, and I came up and I said, oh, wait a minute, what if we dropped in a Periscope link? And no one had tried that yet. So I found one of somebody I knew, and I put it in there, and it was going to be in the window right next to Joel Comm. So I immediately thought, wow, if this works, I want to screen cap this. So I fired up Open Broadcast software, and I started recording client side because they were off the record. And it didn't work, but I forgot I had OBS running because I've got 4 monitors, it's like out of sight, out of mind. So about an hour later or so, and I'd never been in the seat. I was dropping in links in the chat, but I'd never yet been in a seat that show. And I said, hey guys, can I come in and ask something? I didn't know how to ask in the chat without sounding strange that I've been recording you, right? So I came in and look, guys, before I delete this, does anybody want it? Because Joel's been testing things. You can see how it works. And Josh didn't need it because Josh was in that event too. Josh didn't need it, but Joel's like, you know what? This might be something like the first time anybody recorded and tested Blab drop-ins. So it was a 500-some megabyte file, and I just put it on Dropbox for him. But I told him I wasn't going to share it anyway. I didn't share it publicly or anything because I'd never do that if people didn't know they were being recorded. And no, he was off the record. That's the whole thing. It was an off-the-record session, which was why I was being sensitive about the fact that I had recorded it, and I hadn't told anybody I was recording it, which is unusual for me. But then I did go back through. I went back through it and I pulled out some screenshots of just what a couple different drop-ins looked like. So that's the genesis of that. If that, long answer to your question, but right. Yep. They should. Oh, wait a minute. You're right. I gotta move. No, I'm gonna take my headphones back off. There. There was a reason I didn't have my headphones on.
Oh, because they aren't doing it?
Well, no, because if my headphones are on, they're not going to hear it, but now they should be able to.
Okay. So it's Tuesday night, 11:30. We're going to go live, but we're going to do some pre-show work with Bob ahead of time, kind of a little bit of build your own show, and we're going to do some pre-work on this kind of stuff to make sure that we're ready to go live at 11:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night, Tuesday, on the Bodenweiser und Himmelblau show. And Bob's going to be a special guest for at least probably half the show active, and we're going to be going over this. There goes a Blue Yeti. I just spotted a Blue Yeti There you go.
Yeah.
We're gonna go through this and kind of answer questions as well. Show everybody what we can. What I'd like to do, Bob, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow, not here necessarily, is just do it all in Blab. In other words, do a loop back on one of my other accounts, right, the Bodenblau account, and have Jens kind of just loop back a picture of the screen.
Okay, and that's fine. Actually, yeah, I'm just doing this one because it's mine. But yeah, that sounds good. And if anybody's out there, if anybody out there is also watching the Periscope or can check and see whether the audio of Cliff is coming across or not, you know, it's a challenge. I want my iPad to pick up his speaker, but I don't want my Yeti to pick it up, right? So
right.
So we did just have somebody share it. So that's the addition, or what's going on. Hello, Nelson. And so I have a tweet here that I should be able to drop in for. Where is there? Anyway, I was getting ready to send a tweet when you dropped in. So we have Cliff here, and how do you pronounce your last name, Cliff?
Bodenweiser.
Bodenweiser. Okay. I can't tweet and talk at the same time, so can you tell people who you are and what you do?
Sure, I can do that. I basically hang around Blab a lot right now. I'm an IT guy for the last 12 years, actually 30 years, but specifically I have my own company here in the Boston area, take care of people all across the country and in other countries even. But I got about 600 clients around to help them really navigate the digital world and keep themselves safe, their family, their small businesses, and so forth. So it's a lot of fun, but it's not what I'm doing going forward. I'm more about helping people get their message out to the world, and I love Blab because of that. It's a great place to do that. And I didn't gravitate here. I kind of showed up about 5 months ago, and about when things were starting to kick in, and it is really because it's live streaming video. Interactive video with other people and conversation that I feel we need to, as a humanitarian thing, get together and have these conversations. And we can talk more about that some other time.
All right. Well, thank you. And Gary, if you'll use the /Q, you might already know this, but I noticed you're 14 days on Blab. If you use the /Q, then we can pin the question. So Cliff asked, why did you gravitate to Blab? I'm going to test something here anyway, because I want to show this. Gary asks, Gary asks, why did Cliff gravitate to Blab?
Testing the question feature.
So now I'm going to pin that. So it's pinned there. So Cliff, why did you gravitate to Blab?
Well, I didn't gravitate. It's my first real, I've been on Twitter for my brother-in-law's Crutches for Africa since 2008. I've had Facebook for years and years, but I've not been a social media guy. I've been too busy taking care of my clients. So at this point, Blab came at the right time, the right place for me, because this is my platform. I love being connected to other people and having conversations, not just delivering messages through a one-way platform. So this is right place, right time. That's where my life's going. And obviously here to help other people and help them kind of get in front of the camera and maybe do some production work behind the camera and get their message connected to other people and out there.
Okay. So I know at least one person that's here for the topic, and that's Kate of Fast Pup Dog Training. How many other of you are here for the You Caring Pets edition versus just because we're doing Blab drop-ins? I'm just curious. So if you're here for the You Caring Pet edition, please put a 1 in chat so I know. Because we are going to get there. We're just doing a little intro here.
Thanks, Nelson. Thanks for the follow. I follow you.
All right. So what I'm going to show now is there's a question in here. And I'm going to lock and unlock the seat. I'm also narrating for the Periscope video. I'm going to drop in a link. And it's going to tell me, heads up, drop-ins won't show in recordings. That's okay. I'm going to do it anyway. Are you people seeing it out there in the live stream, the tweet that I put in? Okay.
I'm going to refresh.
There it goes. All right. So there's an example. I'm going to put it in chat so you can see what I dropped in. What I did is I made that a square image. And, oh, you're welcome, Kate. Yeah, I made that a square image so that it would fit in there correctly. And so that is the current one that we're doing. Now, I realized a 1-day flash to bang or lead up time for this wasn't sufficient. Again, I'm, as quoting Peter Shankman, I have the ADHD superpower. So what I think can happen in 24 hours and what really happened in 24 hours is different. So I had made this card in the bottom there, which was a Google form for people to submit their pet campaigns that they wanted to be covered. I know that I need to have more lead up time for that, but this was really just a test. So that's a tweet. But what I wanted to show again to illustrate, I'm going to drop that back in, that same one, and it's going to show up there. And so what we're doing here is called a Blab drop-ins feature. Blab drop-ins, and let's start using the hashtag drop-ins, because that's what they've coined it, and Josh Lankford asked that we use that term. So that's a drop-in. Well, when you pin a question, it's also a drop-in. So if I come over here, even though it looks to you that there's 4 seats right now, and Cliff showing, is that Manicam Cliff or XSplit?
XSplit.
Okay, that is XSplit or half split?
XSplit.
XSplit. Okay, so he's sharing his screen. Now, we have an empty seat. It's not locked. But if I pin this question, it's going to bounce my Twitter. It's going to bounce my tweet. Hello, Imad. We have an international audience here. We have Imad from Egypt and Maitar from Israel. We just need Abdul from Iraq, and we'll have all the people that I met that weekend. But so a question is a drop-in, just like the URL. So the drop-in feature's kind of been there for a while. We just didn't know that that's what a question was when we pinned it. There can only be one live drop-in at a time. So, but Josh said what he'd like to get to is that the question was considered a different category. So you could actually have a question pinned and also show a drop-in. All right. Now, FastPup, what Cliff is doing there with the screen sharing, he's using a utility called XSplit. There's another one, Manicam, that I've used. But I'm going to, Kate, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor here. Kate, could you please find a pet-related product on Amazon that would be something you would recommend to people? Who's calling in here? Hey, Imad, we're going to hold off on callers just for a moment because we're doing some initial stuff, but I will get to you at the end. Not at the end, but even in a few minutes here. But we're doing some demonstration right now because this is also going out on Periscope. So Kate's out there doing that, looking for a link for me. I'm going to show off what works really well and what Josh is proud of, because he spent the most time optimizing YouTube, and he's working on the rest of the integrations.
I'm just covering myself up here, not to confuse.
Oh, wait a minute, that's the wrong link. Sorry. I'll exit that one out. I broke it there. No, you're fine. So when you drop in, don't do that. There, I got to get the right link. So when you drop in a YouTube link, it can't be one that has a sharing time code on it. It can't be, it's got to be just like it would come out in your browser. So the best thing to do is to play it in your browser and then drop it in. So I'm getting the link now. And here's, I'm going to save that YouTube video in a minute because Kate beat me to it. So first thing I'm doing, and this is going to be on the Periscope, you can see I go to that Amazon link first and just look at it, and I clean it up a little bit because I'm not sure what's going to happen on Blab's back end. So I like it to be just the URL to the page, and that's not anything on you, Kate. I'm just saying how I do, because I found that if it's got all the tracking information and stuff on it, it sometimes might mess up. So now I'm going to drop in this link. Okay. Now what I would like, I'm so glad Cliff is here because he can screen share. So Cliff, typically prior to this Blab drop-in feature, what people would do is they would open up that Amazon page and show their screen. So could you go off your Blab screen and show us your Amazon, open that up on a window and show us that window? Are you set up to do that?
Yeah, I think we can.
Okay. So, and he just clicked on it too. So what I want to, yep, we can see it. But what I want to point out is if I was just screen sharing, if I was using Manicam on another, like I have another Twitter account and I can use my notebook computer with Manicam, so that upper right hand corner could have been just an image. But if it's just an image, you can't go like this, and I'm saying this for the benefit of the people on Periscope. Click on it and it goes right to that Amazon page and you can buy it. So for those people out there that have products that they're selling or books with affiliate links, then you can drop it in right there and it works. All right. Any questions on that? I see we have a question from Gary. Oh, does the drop-in strip the pre-roll ads? It does not. It does not drop off the ads. Just like how when you watch a YouTube video, they sometimes play, they sometimes don't. So the ad might play, and so but that was a live Amazon link. Now I'm going to play a little bit. Oh yeah, thank you for doing that, Cliff. So that we answered that question, and the uCaring video.
So what he's doing, for you guys to see this, he's locking. I'm kind of floating in here.
Yeah.
So right there, I'm going to get out of the way for a second. The reason I'm floating around like this is to not confuse anybody about that multiple screen infinity shot. So when he locks the seat and then unlocks it again, right now, I'm going to hit unlock. It gives him the opportunity to drop that link. So.
Well, actually, since you're in the show, Cliff, I'm going to show them something. I'm a co-host.
Right.
Any co-host can do this. I'm going to drop out of my seat. I'm just in the chat right now, but I can still.
So then I can. What are we going to do?
I'm going to drop a link in. What I'm showing them, I didn't mean to call in. It's so easy out of habit to click on the call in. Sorry.
So do something, drop a link somewhere for me to pick up probably, and then so what I would do is lock the seat and then unlock it. And as a host, you guys can see it now.
Right.
Coming through, it gives us this link. If you guys are a host in the room or hosted your own Blab, you would see this.
Right.
So we want to show that to you there. So it's going to come back in.
So now I'm going to pause on it. I'm going to click on it. You can pause it on your end too. And I realized I was still talking to the Periscope when I left the seat, and I thought I was talking to you guys. But what can happen is, even though I was not seated, I can be out in the chat in the room and drop the URL in. So we're not going to watch this whole video, but this is how uCaring works. I will put it in the chat.
Question. Why stop the co-host? Does that stop it for everybody or not?
That is a good question. So I'm going to ask everybody. I'm going to, on a 3 count, I'm going to restart the video. Let me know if it starts or not, or if it's already playing. I think they controlled individually from what Josh said before. So 1, 2, 3. Did it start again for everyone else, or are you controlling it individually? It started. I just paused it, and it paused for everyone, correct?
Did it pause for everyone?
Okay. So
interesting.
Now
they can start it.
I think so. Gary, go ahead and start it. See if it works. If you can start it yourself.
Appreciate the help, Karen.
Yes, there's no. Okay, so there's a reason for that. I got to see who. Yeah. Okay, so you can control it individually. Bruce, Josh explained why that is on the audio adjustment. He has set it to a preset. I think he said level 130. I don't know what that number means.
Level 30%.
Oh, 30%. And he did that because he didn't want it to like blow people's headphones out, and so he wanted a standard level. I think it's a little low because it's been coming across much lower than the speakers or the people, the host and that talking. So it might get adjusted up. So Hello, Matthew. I'm doing what I often do is I'm using one tool to train another. So the nominal topic for this is Blab for Social Good, you caring pet campaigns, and we're going to get there shortly. Right now, I just showed a part of the video for the You Caring campaign. And if anybody wants to go to You Caring site, it's youcaring.com. They have a pets category, and we're just going to drop in a couple campaigns, tweet them out, see how it works. So, okay, Matthew, no more comments like that. I'm very tolerant, but I'm going to X that out, and if it happens again, I hate to have to kick you out of the room. I'll do it, though, but if I kick you, it also reports you to Blab, and I don't take that lightly.
You don't want to do that.
So,
be respectful.
So, all right. And I've had people say that I'm much more tolerant than they would be, but that's just me, so. All right, so here's my...
I just make it clear, Bob, you be respectful and you're okay here.
Yeah.
If you're not...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm dropping in a You Caring link. And this is, yes, co-host can delete comments. So here comes the You Caring link. Now this might not even, oh, there we go. So help Gary Veldhuis continue rescuing dobies. So you can click on that and it will open up right in your own page. You could tweet it out. So if nothing else, if a few of you, if you don't mind, click on that. And when you click on it, you're going to see the actual campaign page there. And if you would tweet that out and just put on hashtag B4SG, that's Blab for Social Good, just showing that this works. So we just, I could have done the same thing if, So what are we talking about here is, prior to being able to do Blab drop-ins, people would put URLs in the chat, and then everybody would have to click on them. But you couldn't show them this picture of Gary with his dogs, right? So now it's more visual. Anything to add with that, Cliff?
No.
Okay.
No. And then there's other ways that with I guess multiple Pinterest stuff. You can actually click on different pictures within the Pinterest.
Yeah, and I might even be able to find a Pinterest You Caring board. Now, the other thing, because sites are so complex, I'm going to drop another one in here. So what I did, I went to that site and I copied the image address for the campaign so you could see the full picture. Now, if you click on that, it's not going to go anywhere. Am I coming through? Am I bleeding now?
Bleeding? I don't see any blood.
No, I mean, am I echoing through? I want to make sure I wasn't echoing.
No.
All right. So what I did there is I just went to the site and I right-clicked the image and got the address to the actual image. So depending upon what it is you're trying to do and show, you don't have to show the whole site. If you wanted to show a book jacket cover from Amazon, you could show the book jacket cover and talk about a book without actually redirecting somebody to the Amazon page. All right. So
what's the best way to do that?
To do what?
Exactly what you just said. I want to just show you the cover of a book.
Okay, you want to cover a book. So what's a book you want to pimp, Cliff?
No, I don't pimp any books.
Oh, you don't pimp books. All right.
Pick anything. Pick
okay,
a cup.
I'll pick anything.
So I just want you to show us how to do that.
I got it. Okay.
And the link to this guy.
Yeah.
So you're just grabbing a link to the image?
I'm just going to grab, I'm just going to, yes, we'll get yours in a moment, Kate, because Kate also shared my Blab with several people in her group. So I'm going to pick one here that I looked over my shelf and I saw that the Lean Startup was sitting there by Eric Ries. So I thought I would try this. Now I don't know if it'll work or not. No. So that one didn't work. So we're going to use Kate's then. Go ahead, drop a book in there, Kate. Drop a link to a book that you want us to look at. And while you're finding that, so again, you have to, it takes some getting around. Like that time, I opened the book jacket in a new window, and the link still didn't work because if you look at it, it has all that garbage on it from Amazon. So that's one of the things that we're testing and we're doing is we're trying to figure out, okay, what exactly do you have to do in order for this thing to work the way it should. Okay, so we've got fast pups here. Okay. All right, so now that one didn't resolve. I'm looking at it to see what it is. So that is is that a wish list, Kate? Because that was when I opened it up, there were several products there. So if it's like a list of if it's a whole bunch of products, it's not going to come out properly either.
You did a search.
Yeah, it was a search. So here we go. I picked one product from it. There we go. So now the blab squares, the blab drop-ins are square. So if it's a rectangle, it may not look exactly the way you would want it to. I envision a lot of people going out and repurposing their sites, repurposing launch pages, and doing things to have alternate formats so that they fit into these blab windows. So
right. You can see if I right-click on it, it'll let me open a new tab, new window, incognito, and so forth. You can even save a link for later, and so it lets you do that.
Absolutely. Now, is there a question? Oh, Kate, that's fine that it's not clean. In fact, as co-hosts, as hosts of shows, we can't expect that the audience is going to be dropping in clean links anyway, and it's going to be more prep work. You know, I mean, this is very ad hoc, and I'm glad that Cliff and Bruce is in here because I want to make sure that we're not dropping in raw links tomorrow. You know, I want to have an idea of what it is you want to show so that we're showing things that work and not things that don't work. So we can talk about that, right? So, Cliff, go ahead and find a link about something else to drop in or talk for a moment, Cliff, because I'm going to make a Google post, a Google Plus post to show some things here.
So, Bruce, can you see if you can ping Jens to come in? Yeah, I'll drop my link in for my new show, or my show tomorrow night. Yeah.
And what I'm doing here is I'm making a Google post so that then I can show people how you can add me to your circles right from within Blab, if you want to. So what I'm doing is that... Go ahead, Cliff.
You guys can see that. I'll get out of the way here in a second. So it says, heads up, drop-ins won't show in recordings or audio archives yet, but we're working on it. Now, all I did was put in my show for tomorrow, which should be a static page. It's not really static. So that won't work. And pre-show your show.
But you can still put it in that if you hit OK and then drop the link, it'll still work. That's just telling you it's not going to be recorded.
Okay, so here I am. I'm pasting in my link for tomorrow's show.
Right.
And I hit the go, and it gives me...
The first time you drop it, it gives you the warning.
Oh, okay. All right.
Which threw me off the other day because I thought that meant that it didn't work at all while it was being recorded, so I stopped the recording.
But that's not coming back. That's not resolving either.
Well, no, it is. If you click on that, it will go to Cliff's show, and you can subscribe to it.
Right. That looks like.
So anybody that's interested in what we're talking about here, Cliff, tell them what your show's about.
It's about Bob.
Oh, great.
It's all about Bob. So we're going to be talking about this tomorrow night, but in general, the show's about community, live community, streaming, live video. Bruce is my cohort, and Bruce Himmelblau, and he does video, professional video for some of the big names in social media. And then we just have a lot of fun. We bring in some guests tomorrow. We're going to be going over this because this is important. This is something that people, they don't need XSplit, Minicam, green screens, blue screens to do a lot of what we can do. Can't do screencasting, which is what I do with the green screen. But that just means your head's in front of the thing instead of it playing by itself. So this is really a game changer. And we've been waiting for this, and it's been sidelined for a little while. But Josh at Blab headquarters is working on it, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow.
And so, you know, with a name like, so for those that don't know, subbob is derived from submarine bob. and that's because Bob King comes right after John Smith in the most common names in the United States, because John is common, Bob's common, and so is Smith and King. And in 1998, I could not find a Yahoo or Hotmail with Bob King that didn't have several numbers after it. So I was trying to come up with something unique, and I came up with subbob, and that's my brand now. So, but Bob's also, you hear it in commercials all the time, you know, that there's that movie, What About Bob? And so I joked with Cliff, you know, maybe tomorrow we could call it What About Drop-Ins? You know, with Bob. So I'm going to drop in, and that's what it is, we're dropping in a link. So this is, I'll see the image still didn't show. That's all right. That is the Lean Startup book that I had picked over from Amazon, and that's still not showing what I thought it would do. It's always really interesting that, because it makes a difference on how you drop the link in. Because if you drop it in just right, people can actually +1 you or add you to their circles right out of the little blab window. And if I drop in the image directly, I don't think this would. And if it takes too long, again, you can see it going around and around and around on Cliff's screen. That means that one just ain't gonna work. Okay, so I'm gonna exit out. All right. So you carrying.
They can see that on their screen.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you thought about doing that to share your screen so you could show them, Cliff. And again, this is why it takes a village, right? Or it takes a team. It's because not everybody can think of all the different possibilities of solving problems. So earlier, Cliff mentioned dropping in a Pinterest board. So I'm picking in here. There's one, animal lovers. All right, you gotta love it when a plan comes together. You'd think I prepped this in advance. No, you wouldn't. But so this is a Pinterest board from You Caring. Right. This is where the blab drop-ins start to get even more cool, because you can go in there. Cliff, can you scroll up and down on that board to show them how you're scrolling live in the little blab window?
I'm just covering. What I'm doing here, folks, just so you know, I'm covering myself up not to confuse you.
Oh, okay.
Just because otherwise we got an infinity board
Sure.
there. So if I come up here and I can scroll down and I say, oh, I really like this guy. I click on it, and obviously you would come over here. You can't see it because it's off the screen, but it would go to that picture.
Right.
So, and again, you can. What's that about?
Oh, bob ends. Thanks, Bruce. I just saw Bruce's bob ends. Yeah. So
you can go in and then click on any one of those pictures. It'll take you right to the picture on your own browser.
So I'm looking at this kitty in the upper left-hand corner, and I'm partial to cats. So I'm going to click on that, and this way the people in Periscope can see that actually opened to that picture.
Now, are you seeing me? I got a question for you about. Are you seeing me scroll?
I am seeing you scroll. Yes.
Okay. Does everybody else see the scroll when I do this?
They should be, because it's coming out live. Yeah, Gary says yes.
I'm just checking, because sometimes they can scroll themselves, right?
Oh yes, you can all scroll yourselves, and so we've got
scroll yourself.
Yes, yeah.
Write that down. Bruce likes that kind of humor.
All right. So
caught the mayor of Blab saying, "Go scroll yourself." It was a recorded Blab.
Yes, Gary. When you scroll, it's only on your screen, and
now why? But they see me scrolling, right?
Yes, they do. They're seeing you scrolling.
Because
and
I'm a host?
So, well, they're seeing you scrolling because you're sharing the screen. If I was, and you're broadcasting through, right? Yeah. So, the neat thing about this is, do you see? Oh, you're not. You're not seeing him scroll in the window, but you're seeing him scroll on the screen that he's sharing. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, we don't.
So you guys,
yeah.
And let me be clear about this, Bob. I want to make sure that
absolutely.
There's a scroll above my head, right up here, right? That will move because I'm sharing my screen. And that's what I'm looking at. But are you guys seeing the one above that, the big one, scrolling as well, or not?
No.
Right.
Yeah.
So you guys have control, but it's the same thing. You guys can scroll through and pick any picture you want.
Good. Yeah. Good. following that communications one that we had last night, that's a good clarification to make. So here's where the excitement level could come in. What if this wasn't 12 pets on the screen, but it was 6 different topics? And I'll get to your question in a second, Kate. But what if this was 6 different topics? Okay, we talked the first half of the hour about this. Now we can talk about SEO, we can talk about Twitter, or we can talk about Snapchat. Click on one of those images and like it, and then once the audience clicks, you now have a live result. So
how does that work, Bob?
How does what work?
How does that work? Let's say we had 4 things on the screen and everybody clicks. I know we're trying to poll them.
Right.
Where does that information go? If they're clicking on it, where does it end?
Oh, well, I was saying, for instance, you would have to have something set up on the back end that you already knew how many, if all of those had 0 likes to start with,
right,
then you could measure how many new likes they got.
Okay, so if you were trying to just measure likes by going to a place that actually measured the likes, like Bruce, he's got 23 props.
Yeah.
And each of those individual images you can click on individually.
Right.
It'll take you to a different page.
Yeah, so now the question is, why Kate can't scroll? So what are you on, Kate? Are you on a Mac?
Hover over the image and scroll up and down with your mouse. Use the wheel on your mouse to see what happens.
I go over the image. You guys can see me on the image with my mouse, and I just scroll.
Okay.
Do you have a scroll on your mouse?
Well, Kate also had some issues trying to do drop-ins the other day also, and so it might have been a Mac Chrome issue with her thing. So if you put your cursor over top of that and scroll up and down, it still doesn't scroll, Kate? We'll find out here. And while she's checking that, there was another issue we had. You guys may know her. Her handle starts with TW Angie. She uses a virtual keyboard, so it's an accessibility issue. And she was not, with her virtual keyboard, she was not able to drop in a link, because when she went to try and drop in the link, the arrow went away. And so Josh was in the room when we were testing that. So they have some accessibility issues with this, with people that have non-standard keyboards and things. Okay, so Kate's saying it's not scrolling right now. So again, this could be, as Josh calls them, this could be an edge case. A specific version of Chrome, a specific Mac. So, and, so it just takes you to the site. Okay, so what I envision with this too, and I'm going to say this tonight, I'm going to say this tomorrow night on your Bruce and Chris on your show, is we're only testing what we know about, right? We're not testing the yet to be built. So all the things that evolved after Twitter, there's all these things that are post Twitter, hashtags, the image sharing, the real-time live video streaming that spun off of that didn't even exist and wasn't even Twitter features. They were user hacks. So it could be as simple as making an iframe that's 500 by 500, throw 4 pictures in it, and put that on your site, and you have a poll. So I think people are going to be making WordPress plugins and finding ways to make their sites and their launch pages look better. I would love it. This isn't going to show, but since we have Cliff here, he can show people. So I have a splash page that I've not developed yet. A site is not developed yet, called Find Their Gift. And if I put that in a thing, it's not going to look right at all. It's just going to do that, right? But if you could, Cliff, can you show them what that site looks like?
I can do that.
All right.
I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put it out. I'm gonna put this image out on Twitter too, so I can drop it in. I'm gonna make it square. Go ahead.
Could it be because I'm a host? I see it.
No,
I don't see it.
No,
Cliff clicked on it, and it took him to that page.
Right. Well, no, if you click on it, but you can, in the upper window, you're not seeing my site. You're just seeing the name Find Their Gift, right?
Right.
So,
I haven't clicked on it yet.
yeah. So, but what I would like people to be able to sign up on my splash page right there. And so that can be done. It's just a matter of adding the info to it, right? And so I'm putting this picture out there, and this is another little hack. If you want to get a picture in there, just tweet it out and drop the tweet in. So what I'm doing right now, I'm putting the tweet in the chat.
What's really weird is I dropped in a link maybe like half an hour ago, and that link is still there. Every time you open it up,
Yeah.
it shows me the link that I dropped in but never executed.
Have you refreshed since then? If you refresh, that usually clears that box.
I don't think I did.
Because that happened to me. If you get a URL stuck in the box, if you refresh, it should clear that box. So now this is just a static screenshot of the same site that Cliff brought up. So my what if question is, what if my site was set up that right there, that was a live, enter your email, and people could go right there without even leaving Blab, put in their email address, and click add me for list building. Right? So that's some of the stuff that I see evolving out of these Blab drop-ins. And there might be some pages out there that already do this. I just haven't ran across one that was set up right that it would work inside the window. Any questions on that?
Bruce, did you try to ping Jens or no?
Yeah, I sent him a text maybe like 10, 15 minutes ago.
A text or a Twitter?
A text.
So the other... Oh, okay. Brand Ideas asks, let me see. Tim asks, who has access to this? Right now, it is an unreleased feature that's about 2 to 3 weeks away, and don't hold me to that. That's just a comment that Josh made over the weekend. But you can ask for it on a case-by-case basis by going into your Blab and saying, @Blab, and I'm not going to put the @ in there. I don't want to ping anyone, or @Josh or @BlabStud, excuse me, and ask for them to enable the drop-ins feature.
Yeah, that's an intentional exclamation point there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he defies the. So when you're the Blab engineer, you can defy the name rules. So now, initially Friday night they had said wait until your Blab's live and then ask for it. So I thought it had to be live for them to enable it. But then it was Saturday night. Cliff mentioned that I was in a Blab testing this for 9 hours on Saturday. Part of that, almost 45 minutes to an hour, we had Josh Langford, the Blab engineer, in the seat, and I got to do an ad hoc interview with him in Q&A. The other thing that's exciting I haven't mentioned yet in this Blab is that in conjunction with these drop-ins, there's going to be a Blab API coming out so that people can develop additional integrations. So you can do things like have Zapier zaps and if this then that rules with Blab. So imagine being able to subscribe to a Blab and it goes on your Google Calendar so you don't have to manually add it yourself, right? So,
good deal.
Did that answer your question, Tim? All right. So that's a picture of our kittens that were born this weekend. I'm trying to find a tweet. I just want a tweet that's going to let people... I got to find a text tweet. There we go. This one will work.
Thanks, Gary.
Now, I'm going to do this since it's being recorded on Periscope and you can see it on Cliff's screen. There's something else that's important for you to know because this was turned on for my Blab Saturday at 1 o'clock Central Time. I used it a couple times and then I stopped using it because I thought I had broken it. When you unlock it, if you paste it in immediately and click on it, sometimes it doesn't work. That time it did. So what I wanted to point out is there I am on Twitter. So that for the 7 people in this room, or 6 not counting me, if you're not already following me on Twitter, you can click on that. You can follow me on Twitter. So that's another way that you can use this drop-ins for engagement.
The thing is, I am following you on Twitter.
Right.
And it doesn't say I'm following you on Twitter.
On this,
it does say when you click on it.
So I click on it, and it takes it to my login.
Yeah.
My desktop.
Okay. Now,
when I click on it, it looks like this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that.
Right. Now, Cliff, can you move that for a second so I can see yours again? Because you're on a huge ass screen, right?
Oops. Yeah, big screen.
Can you move over so we can see the whole quadrant that my tweet is in? Or get rid of that one window that's covering it up. All right. So one of the other things is you can't quite see it because his name's covering it up, or I can't on mine anyway. But you can see the like on his. I'm not seeing the like because I'm only on a 20-inch monitor. So on larger monitors, more of the tweet or more of what you're sharing actually fits in. So not everyone is seeing the same thing. And that's important to know.
Are you saying the follow or the what?
No, so like all I see is visionaries. I'm going to actually, let's do this. I'm going to take a screenshot. This is the only way to really do this right. I'm going to take a screenshot of what mine looks like, Cliff.
Hang on, let me move this over here.
Okay.
Better?
It's fine.
Yeah, I see the same thing as Cliff sees.
Yeah.
Which may be down to that linkslist.com tag.
So,
Nothing below it. I
all
don't
right.
see the thumbs up or
Okay.
the retweet at all.
So, but you see a follow or something on yours, don't you?
I see the follow.
Oh, duh. I'm not going to see follow because, never mind.
No light.
Lack of sleep, guys. I'm like, I'm not seeing follow. No.
You
But-
should follow yourself. It's a really good idea.
Yeah.
There you go again.
Hey, y'all. This is live video. What do you expect?
This is what happens. The follow worked over here, so that's fine. It's just Bruce being Bruce.
Yeah, but there are things that will show up differently if that window's bigger.
At the bottom of a tweet, you have that option to retweet or to like it. That's not showing up in the window.
No.
Let
And
me see if I can scroll it. And I can't scroll up and down to see that like or that retweet at all.
yeah, and so I'm still going to tweet this out because you'll notice that on mine, I see website aims to simulate what it's like to upvoted one person writes, and there's like 3 or 4 lines on Cliff's. So again, it's just different monitors.
Yeah, so there's
Yeah.
stuff on the bottom,
Yeah,
the reply,
yeah,
the retweet and like,
yeah.
does not show up.
No. And again, the point being there, you're going to have people with different sized monitors. You're going to have people on mobile, and there's still not a lot of testing yet on how this works on mobile, on iPads. So there's still a lot of testing yet to do. And because I haven't yet set it for this show, we're using a beta service blab, and we're testing an unreleased feature on a beta service. So there's going to be glitches.
There you go.
Right. And so, and lastly, I'm going to come back. I know I called this the You Caring edition, but it was a topic. It was better than saying we're just testing blab drop-ins, right? So now, and to be clear, if there'd been a dozen people in here that wanted to talk about pets, then we'd be talking about pets, but that didn't happen. So I'm just picking one person here, and I'm going to drop in a You Caring, a GoFundMe. Okay, so again, like the You Caring one, it shows the picture, it shows the little description, and I don't know all of the details on what Josh did to make these work. I suspect that is not something that is natively built into the GoFundMe or the You Caring. I mean, you can have some metadata, you can have some different things that describe what it should look like when it's embedded in different places. But when you lock and unlock the seat and you drop that link in, if you don't wait a second, it sometimes doesn't work. And the reason is, it's not sharing that link live. It's not just going out with any filtration. It's going back to the Blab server, and he's looking to see what site it's coming from. If it's from YouTube, he's doing something else to it. If it's from Vimeo, if it's from that. And so he's still in the process of refining other sites so that they will look better. So as time goes on, how those drop-ins look will appear even better. So I've been talking a long time. I know we said we're going to get other people in. I think we've shown enough drop-ins. Is anybody else does anybody that's out there want to come in and ask a question, or Bruce or Cliff, you guys have any questions?
Well, we've got questions for you tomorrow night.
Yeah, okay. Got it. Anybody else want to come in?
Yeah, so we're going to be soft starting the show for you guys tomorrow night around 11 p.m. Eastern time. So, and then we're going to be doing some more of this. So Jens is up to date, and he's our back-end engineer for the show. And then, so we've got this down to a science more, so we make it nice and smooth. So, Bob, if you have a thing you want to go through, like a list based on the last, 15 hours, 20 hours you've been doing this, just say we're going to start out with a basic drop-in for a YouTube, then we'll go to a Pinterest, then we'll go. So we'll have it. We'll know what we want to do, and then we'll just craft it right in that half hour.
Okay. So.
And then do you want to talk about any? Sometimes when you go to a site, it hasn't been verified. You know what happens with that?
Okay, so you're talking about the HTTP versus the HTTPS?
Well, sometimes I think when you put a drop-in in there, it doesn't let you activate the link.
Oh, right. So sometimes, there's some things. It depends if it's a poorly written site. Flash doesn't work well, and one of the things that'll happen is that it'll sit there. If you ever drop it in that purple circle, it just sits there for a long time. Just exit out. Sometimes it'll get stuck, either circling in the purple or what you dropped in there, you can't X out. Then it's a good thing to know that pinning a question will get rid of a drop-in. So if you can't X out the drop-in, you can just make a question up and pin the question. That's a workaround. Tim asked, what's the process to do a drop-in? So Cliff's screen is still on. So Tim, look up there underneath Cliff. Do you see where it says open seat and lock seat? All right. So the process right now is I'm going to lock the seat. And now I'm going to unlock the seat, and then it becomes that form, and I can drop a link in and hit enter. Or click on the arrow. Vimeo is going to be half screen. Facebook, a lot of the Facebook stuff also looks half screen. That's because Josh hasn't optimized it for the square yet. Also, unlike YouTube, Vimeo doesn't play automatically, so everybody has to, like, I'm going to hit play. It's going to play on my end, but it's not playing for everybody else.
That's cool. So if I hit play, Cliff is hitting play.
Yeah, you can see me hitting play, and obviously everybody else can too.
So, and then...
So let's put that, Bob, if you could just put that together.
Yep, I will.
Or just, do you use Google Docs, Bob?
Yes, I use Google Docs. In fact, I don't know if you were in the session, and of course I didn't do it for this one, but my plan, I got this.
Well, ideally with YouTube, because it automatically plays, everybody's watching at the same time.
Right.
With Vimeo, since it doesn't automatically play,
there's
listening to it at least a second or 2 or 5 seconds later.
Yeah, Vimeo does. Yeah, it does work for everybody, Kate. But you have to, you're not going to be in sync. The other thing, and I didn't say this, but that Vimeo video just got 7 hits. The YouTube video, if there were 30 people in this room, then that YouTube video that autoplayed got 30 hits and 30 monetizations because it went out to 30 clients. So
if you got a pre-roll ad,
we
all watch 30 seconds of it.
Yeah. This here.
I've got some videos on my website that I have pre-roll ads on.
All right. So this is a Google slideshow. Now, I'm just going to check and see. I'm on slide 1. I'm hitting advance. You notice it did not change on Cliff's. So you have to actually do it yourself with this. With SlideShare, it advances on its own because he's optimized SlideShare already.
So I've got your Periscope up.
Yeah. There you go.
On your next slide.
Thanks. So you guys can see there on Bruce's Periscope that when I advance it, it actually advances. Oh, it is advancing on yours. Oh no, it's not. That's Periscope. Never mind. So, yeah, but it's not advancing on Cliff's. So that's a define their gift. Now, SlideShare works for everyone. And find their gift, for those that may not know, that haven't heard me say it before, I believe that when people have a disability, learning disability, developmental disability, they have some gift, and find their gift is that we should focus on what people's gifts are as opposed to what they can't do. That's what find their gift is about.
Like, you know, Bruce can wear a hat
So
and headphones at the same time.
now this one,
Wear a hat and chew gum. Yeah, if I can do that.
so Cliff is not going to touch his screen,
Oh,
and when I advance this, it's advancing. So slide share the host controls.
Okay.
Except I believe, go ahead and now touch your screen. Go move. Well, I don't know if another co-host does it. Go to slide 10, Cliff. Yep. So if Cliff does it, no.
No, Cliff's on slide 7. And okay, there's
Yeah, it's updating. So what about you guys that are out there watching it? Can you change it yourselves? So go to slide 11. I'm not going to change mine. Can you go to slide 11 in the audience?
anybody in the audience alive or well?
We'll find out.
Gotta go.
So the
Okay, I'm not touching it either.
no, I'm doing this. But this is I love this presentation, and it's from 2008 or 2009, and it applies to not just social media but any kind of change. Oh, go back one slide there, Cliff.
That was actually me doing that.
Oh, okay. So
Get rid of his host powers. Everybody else is asleep here.
so
So let me get rid of your host powers here.
wow, you guys work well together, don't you? Okay. So yeah, so that's good to know, Kate. Kate said it's not working for her, so maybe only hosts can do this one.
Okay, Bruce, I de-hosted you, Bruce.
So Bruce, can you move it on your
I
side?
still have the host powers.
Oh, you do?
So they tell me.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. It's not there anymore. It just hasn't updated.
Well, I just changed it.
Okay, but you changed it for yourself, not for everyone else.
You didn't change it for us, so somebody
Okay.
has to go back.
Yeah.
These are important things for us to know for
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Right.
So Bob, I know I'm being reiterating.
Yeah.
Are you going to put together a Google Doc? Do you have one?
Yes,
already?
I'm going to put one together, and I wanted to just.
Share it. What I'll do is I'll give you. I'll actually create one right now.
Okay.
And you can just either tack it on there or whatever.
So I'm going to talk to this slide before we move on. You see, it says social media. There's a circle. In order to, people don't use social media because they don't understand it. They don't understand it because they don't use it. The same thing for collaboration. So it's a catch-22. That was the woman's point here, Maxine Teller. And there's this social media adoption curve. And this is what we're doing today, and this is what you guys are doing in your show tomorrow night, I believe, right? It's the education part. You educate people, then they observe, and then they start to broadcast and participate. And around in the purple dots there, when they go from participate to building relationships, that's when they start to see the value, and that's where the ramp takes off, that they get the value out of it. But I've used this curve many times in this presentation, many times to explain to people. I'm running my fingers through my hair, but explain to people why you have to get over that education hurdle before people will start to even do any of the other part of it. Yes, Kate. Well, I don't know if it's unlimited, but we had 20 on Saturday, so Kate asked if we could have an unlimited number of hosts.
Yeah, it sounds like a disaster. We had 70 on the community blab lounge the other day.
Oh.
So.
Now, for those that might be interested in it, there's that presentation. Although it's entitled Social Media for Government Use, it applies to social media use in any organization or group of people. All right. So
2009, it still applies.
yeah, absolutely. And because more things have come out. And on your Google Doc point, Cliff, and I'm actually chagrined that I didn't do it ahead of this one. So I need to make my own checklist so I do better. But I intend to make Google Documents ahead of each blab that I do and make the link available. I'm going to put the Google Doc actually in the seat so that people can click on it. And that way there's a collaborative document out there where people can even take notes during the blab. Almost like a wiki page. So think about that for post-production, if not only as people are dropping links in the comments, if they're actually building and formatting a document about the shows and the agenda and the things that were talked about.
If you can share it with everybody.
Yeah. So So that's the. Any questions from people out there in the group that haven't been answered yet? What is bump? Do you mean bump like kick out without banning, without reporting?
Or bump to the next blab.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I don't know. Kate, are you able to come in now, Kate? Okay, here we go. Another thing for those of you that haven't done blabs, sometimes if you don't get the question in the text, it's just easier to get it by voice. Okay, Kate? Hi.
So the bump that I was talking about, like on a radio or television show, they always have like this wild, crazy rockin' music right to start, or like 5 to 10 seconds.
Got it.
And at the and they usually have them be different. You know, the end is usually.
So I think what Kate's describing is Joel's Blab 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 song, or whoever's song that is. Who has that song?
Blab Blab Live, yeah.
You know, but so I.
Do you have it?
Well, no. Well, you could do that by dropping in a YouTube video.
Yeah, I thought of that, but it's kind of. I mean, it's kind of rough, and you have to have your stuff together really well to do that.
Yeah.
Not make any mistakes.
Right.
I'm thinking, you know, because you can use it as a podcast. So if you're putting it up as a podcast afterwards, you would want it to sound more like.
What happened?
We can hear your audio.
Kate? Did Kate's audio kind of drop on us here, or is it me?
I heard the audio, and then Bob dropped out.
Right. So, Kate, your audio kind of dropped out on us here.
Really?
Okay.
That's better now.
So Cliff.
Yes.
What I'm going to do is this going to be, you know, like, a spin video or whatever. Somebody, whatever, you know, when you go somewhere, you got like a 60-second video about yourself, right? So I know you've hosted a lot of these things, so I know I can put you on the spot and you'll just respond. So Kate is your guest. You're about to introduce her, and I'm going to drop in her YouTube video.
Okay. Kate, welcome.
Stop
Here
that.
comes your YouTube video. Looks like Bob. Strange. Here we go. So we're going to drop in. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Kate. Never mind. We're going to do it electronically. Here we go. You can actually, because it's only a 30%, Kate, you can actually talk over it and say, look at those boots I was wearing when I was fishing.
Okay, so this clip, this is you, right? And that's your XSplit?
No, this is the drop-in.
No, look to your left, on the window next to you.
Okay, so I see, okay, it's like 2/3 of the screen or 3/4 of the screen. I thought maybe that bottom part was like your lower third or whatever where you
Ignore this corner down where I'm sitting. Ignore that.
And actually, there's an ad that actually pops up. So you're actually getting views and possible advertising revenues off of that video.
So ignore me. This is the way it would normally look. Forget about XSplit. We're just showing you that box over there. That's what we would do, or you would do in your show, where I'm interviewing you. I'd have this ready to go in the can, ready to pop in to that link, so that would introduce. Maybe we're explaining something you already know.
I know nothing.
Okay. But do you understand what's going on? What we're doing? We're just playing in the box that we've been doing for half an hour. Your video, your YouTube.
Yeah.
So as an intro for you, instead of you saying, oh, I do dog thing and I have this great video and little intro thing, we're just going to play it. And you can do the same thing in your show. You just pop that in to once it's released.
Yeah, and I guess what I've been thinking about for the last couple of days is if you're going to do it right, you really go make videos specifically for this platform.
You mean format-wise?
Yeah, like make them really short, like 30 seconds, and
Yeah,
low.
Yeah. If you're going to use them in your show, little spots.
Yeah.
You do advertisements during your show. It's the same thing. They don't make 4-minute advertisements. They link them all together. And make
And I forget what somebody called it in an earlier blab today about what that's called. Like, you know, a spin reel, I think a term was used, or, you know, that you're going to have that you take with you that they show before you come out on stage type of thing, right? So
just an intro, pre-canned intro.
yeah. So one of the reasons that you see my face sometimes when I say I'm going to drop a link is it's so easy to click on the open button and not the lock button, so you drop into the seat. But what I'm going to put in here now is a link to a Google document. You won't be able to edit the Google Doc in the window, but this link says anyone that has it can edit it. So anyone in here should be able to go into this blank doc that I created, and this is what I'll do. We'll make it useful. Those of you that are here, those of you just joined, whatever, please put in this document any questions you may have and what you learned from this event. And put,
you know, the guests can do that, or
well,
only a host?
no, I'm going to drop out of this seat and I'm going to share a Google document.
I'm going to drop out so you can drop it in.
Okay.
So it did not come up.
That was a link. It was this link just in here.
Blank on mine.
Oh, people, you can still hear me on Bruce because you got my Periscope on, right?
I can't click. I'm clicking on it. There it goes. And I'm just typing. Nothing's happening.
Strange. All right. Well, once again, I know that I shared one yesterday and it worked. So why isn't this one working? Let me try again.
Drop out so you can keep it on the screen at the same time.
All right.
Maybe drop it.
Let me see. Anyone with this link can edit. I copy the link. I think yesterday, and it might be because of all that stuff that's on it, so I'm going to make it a bit.ly link. You wouldn't think it would make a difference, but again, we're working with untested technology here. So now I'm dropping this link in. It came up the same way, didn't it? That's strange. And you can scroll it. Can I actually type in it? Holy cow. No, I can't. It looks like you're scrolling it. Huh. All right. Oh, you can right-click it. So you right-clicked it and opened a new window? Huh. Oh, well. That's weird. But Bruce, you actually... So Bruce is typing to me in the document. You opened it from the link in chat, right? Okay. All right, so let me try another one. Let me try a Google form that I just made.
So how did you know he was typing it? Because I didn't see.
Oh, I've got 4 monitors, Kate, so I was looking at the document on my other monitor. So that's what, so yeah, I cheat a lot. Yeah. So, I don't, cheat's not the right word, but, so here we go. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get a form. Try this one. Get the link and copy it. So this is the form for the pet submissions. There we go. Oh, that one you can scroll. Look at that. Oh, I just found out how I can do list building. Hey, Cliff, can you scroll? I know you're on the phone. Can you scroll that form for the camera? So I can use a Google form for list building, and people can submit their emails right from a Google form right inside Blab. You guys seeing that?
Yep.
So that's the link to that form. So I guess I'm going to go out and make a very small Google form for list building.
I was able to type type it in? Do I just hit enter?
Yeah, so, well, there's multiple, so just go down, you have to put in your Twitter, there's a red asterisk in there, so Twitter handles required, Blab handles required. I asked for a URL to a crowdfunding campaign, and then why are you submitting that? So we're like 4 questions. This was not meant to be an email list builder. This was for people to tell me, hey, go show these URLs to these pet campaigns in your show. So this wasn't designed for, all right. Let me see,
Okay, so
oh.
if you don't hit enter, you hit submit.
Yeah, so I have a question here from Will. So Will, to get it in the Blab, it's not been, this is still an unreleased feature, and to get it, you need to ask Blab Help or Josh or Blab Stud, one of the people that are in the Blab support team, and I'm going to find that Medium link. So I'm taking the form out, and the other thing I really respect about the Blab team is they made it so easy. Have you ever wondered how to contact the Team Blab? Well, they have a post out here on Medium. Right there, if you click that, it tells you how to contact them. If you have a non-critical tech problem or a bug, you can send it to bugs@blab.im. If it's a technical emergency, just go @help during it. Or if you have feature suggestions, you can send it to idea@blab.im. But that Medium post right there has all the information on how to contact Blab. Did that answer your question, Will? Okay. Any other questions out there?
Yeah, it's a really, really low level one, but how do you pin the questions?
Oh, okay. How to pin questions. So I'm going to make Kate a co-host. Okay. So Kate is now a co-host. And if you notice down in the chat, it says that Fast Pup Dog Training was added as a co-host by subbob. That's a relatively new feature too, isn't it? Like within the last week, Cliff, or something. It didn't used to say that. So if somebody removed your co-host, you didn't know who did it. And then I'm going to say, Kate, what do you do? Now look over to the right, Kate. Do you see where it says answer question? Click answer question. So click on that button, answer question.
Okay, there we go. Okay. I can scroll it down.
Okay. Now, Kate, what do you? So now it's pinned. So Kate, tell them what you do. I needed time to do something anyway, so this is filler.
So do I type that over?
No, this is okay. That's just so that the audience can see what the question is.
So do I type the answer to the question in the chat row?
No, Kate, let me back up. Someone asked, hey, Kate, what do you do? We pin the question so that the audience can see what the question is, and then you answer it verbally because you're on camera.
Okay.
So, Kate, what do you do?
I'm a dog trainer.
I need more filler. I need about 30 seconds.
Okay, so I train dogs from the size of a small Chihuahua or a teacup Yorkie, all the way to a 200-pound English Mastiff, and everything from just no recall, pulling on the leash, just acting crazy, all the way to pretty severe dog aggression problems. And I also teach people just how to deepen their relationship with their dogs by teaching tricks and things like that. And also I'm a gun dog trainer, which is really my passion. That's what I love to do, is training the retrievers for hunting and things like that.
Okay, thank you. So now, Kate, that's been answered, so now you can click on the X to take it out of the window where the question is up in the upper right-hand corner.
Okay.
So go ahead and do that.
I did.
Well, you removed it from the bar on the right, but it's still pinned. So go over to where the 4 things are. Or you're not seeing it? Are you seeing an empty seat? You still see the question on the screen, don't you?
Yes. Oh, take that screen out?
Just click the X right in the upper corner of that question image. There you go.
Gotcha.
Say, everyone, I'm an educator by passion. So if I have an opportunity to teach someone, I will. All right, so here we go. Sign up for my email list. If you scroll that down, there's only 2 fields now, your first name and your email. I do have an email list. I don't send much to it yet, but how's that, Cliff? Does that do the trick? And Cliff right here, he'll show you on camera that Cliff is going to sign up on my list. Probably with a throwaway email. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. I thank you. There's been several people here that have been through, stayed with us throughout. Kate, thank you for coming in. Like you said, even though it was an alternate purpose than what was advertised. Angie,
No.
I want to acknowledge Angie. All you from the Netherlands, thank you. I apologize to some of those that I've not acknowledged as you came in. We've been doing a training session here. I'm going to drop this form out of there. Bruce, would you like to come back in and say anything before we stop the recording?
So I have a question. You just created that form and then you put it up, and I was actually able to fill it in.
Yeah.
But you didn't actually get. Well, maybe you probably had a submit button that I didn't scroll down.
Oh, did you not click the submit button? Yeah. So.
Okay. So
That's all right. For those like Kate that may have not filled it out and submitted, I'll put it in the chat so that you can submit it. There you go. How's that for? Again, you always got to have a backup.
I don't remember. Did I finish that form?
Excuse me?
Did I finish the form? Because I know I started filling it out.
I don't know. You know what? I took it out probably before people hit submit, so that was error on my part. So
I think I'm getting emails from you, but maybe I'm not. I thought you had my email address, or Blab has my email address.
it's you're probably getting notification. If you're following me, you'll get an email when I schedule something. You guys hearing those motorcycles? Sorry. Yeah. It was. I had to turn my fan down so it didn't blow over my backdrop and my windows open. But no. So what you're getting you're getting emails from Blab because you're following me, Kate. But I'm not sending emails to anybody because I have not been making good use of my list. All right. Any parting? So I've done a lot that I wasn't even think I was going to do. I don't really have that much to go over. I don't have anything else to go over. So this has been Blab Drop-Ins with Cliff Bodenweiser. Is that correct? All right. And Bruce, say yours for me.
Himmelblau.
Himmelblau. Bruce Himmelblau.
Yeah, we're making those names famous.
Got it. So Cliff Bodenweiser and Bruce Himmelblau and Kate. What's that? Kate with Fast Pup Dog Training. And we've been testing Blab Drop-Ins. We'll be doing this tomorrow night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Is that correct?
That's correct, on the Bodenweiser und Himmelblau show hour.
All right.
And you're doing it in English, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
shows
Don't
the
know German.
titles in German.
Okay.
Although all our guests have to have a German name, so Bob, you have to change the name.
Ingberg or Fingerberger.
Well, actually, my wife's maiden name is Warden, and they have relatives in Frankenmuth, Michigan, which is this huge Bavarian town in Michigan, if you're not familiar with it. And so I do have a German connection. And my brand, just so you know, is subbob, Submarine Bob. See, I even have it on my t-shirt. I got a logo, right? So subbob everywhere, all right? So Gmail, Google, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. I look forward to meeting everybody out there. And Bruce, Cliff, everybody, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
We're going to stop the recording here.
Thank you.
All right, guys, the recording's off. What's your thoughts? Like I said, Cliff's going to get me a document. We're going to have some things that we know work up front. Do you want to show some things that don't work? What's the intent, overall objective of your show tomorrow?
Well,
Community sharing.
community sharing, knowledge, edutainment, so educating while entertaining. So we'll be a lot more banter than here. I'll be picking on you a lot more, Bob.